Deuteronomy 28. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High, thy power, to observe and do all his commandments.
Before we begin, I'd like to say, give all praise to the Most High, Ahaya by Shimi Shire, Rabawak Kadash. Indeed, he's worthy to be praised. Right. I feel like I haven't seen y'all for a minute. How y'all guys doing? Right. All praise to the Most High. I wasn't here last week. I mean, still always continue doing the Most High's work. So all praise to the Most High for that. All right. So basically, I got a short lesson today. This lesson is going to be called Stubborn as an Ox. And we all know what that term means. All right, especially Israel. There's nobody more stubborn than us, especially when it comes to the Most High. Right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go starting from Acts chapter 9, verse 1. Right? So what we're going to do, we're going to give examples of these ways how we've been stubborn to the Most High. All right? Let's start from Acts chapter 9, verse 1.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 9, verse 1. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest, and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. So
the person Saul here is that person y'all know as Paul. He's formerly known as Saul. He was there persecuting what we call Christians, the ones who believe in Christ, the Jews that believe in Christ, right? Continue.
And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? So when going to Damascus, he has this letter to go and give him the authority to go and persecute the Christians. A light came and shined around Paul. And within the light, there was a voice that came out and said, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Right? Continue. And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yeshua, whom thou persecutest. So when the voice answered, he said, who is this? And he said, This is Yeshua, who you persecute. Right? Continue. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And go ahead. And he trembling and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? So we're going to look at that phrase right there, right? That statement that Christ made. He said, it is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. So we got to get the understanding of what this actually means, right? That word pricks is actually a rod, right? With a sharp end, a metal end or any type of sharp end. And what that rod is, it was used for an ox or any type of animal to lead them in the wrong way and lead them in the right direction. So you want them to go right, you'll give them a little pinch on their side so they could go to the right. But the thing is, when Christ said it's hard for you to kick against the pricks, what it's saying is sometimes the animal gets stubborn. You prick them, instead of them going the other direction, they'll go towards it and start kicking away from it. So while they're kicking away from it, it's getting worse. They actually stabbing themselves with the rod. So Christ is saying, listen, it's hard for you to go against what you're actually supposed to be doing. I'm giving you a direction to go, but you're going the opposite direction. You're supposed to be on the other side. You're supposed to be persecuted. You're not supposed to be doing the persecution. Right? He's saying, why are you being so stubborn in the way that you're actually supposed to be doing? Right? So this is what we're going to be looking at. All right, continue. Verse 6. And he trembling and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. So when Paul heard this thing, when Paul heard this saying, he trembled and said, well, what should I do? And Christ told him to go into the city, right? Continue. Verse 7. And the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man. So Christ blinded Paul,
He blinded Paul. Well, he blinded Paul for a reason, right? Continue.
But they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was there 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink.
So he was blind for 3 days and 3 nights, and he didn't eat nor drink. Right? Continue.
And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him and said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he prayeth. And he seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him, and he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man with how much evil he hath done to the saints at Jerusalem. And here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake.
So the reason why Christ blinded Paul, for him to see what he needs to do. How crazy is that? He blinded him 3 days and 3 nights for him to show him what he needs to do. For his stubbornness, Christ blinded him. He said, you could have easily go this path, but I need to blind you. And this is where the saying comes back again. He who can't hear will have to feel, right? So this is what has to happen. You're not listening. I have to actually prick you and let you know where you have to go. Okay? So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go through the scriptures and show like different examples how we went against the Most High with our stubbornness, and how the Most High had to do something for us to go in the right direction. Because sometimes when we go through things, we think that we automatically, oh, it's the devil. Satan is doing this to me. But reality is that we're probably going in that wrong direction. And the Most High is actually saying, listen, this way. Right? So let's go to, everybody know this example right here. Let's go to Jonah. Jonah chapter 1, verse 1. We're going to read through the whole chapters because it's a very short scripture.
Book of Jonah chapter 1, verse 1.
When anybody there, say Khan.
Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me.
So Jonah was a prophet, right? And the Most High came unto Jonah and said, listen, I need you to go to Nineveh and cry against it for their wickedness that came up before me, right? Continue.
But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord.
So Jonah rose up as soon as the Most High told him that, because he's like, Nineveh, what I'm going to Nineveh for? That place is crazy. I'm not going there. So he rose up on that day and started fleeing from the presence of the Lord. Is that even possible? Is that even possible?
No.
You can't do that. So it didn't make any sense, right? Continue.
And went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it, and to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. So
what Jonah did, he said, you know what? Since Nineveh is that way, I'm going the other way. I'm going far away from the Most High and far away from Nineveh. I'm not doing it. I don't care if I'm a prophet. I don't care if I can hear the Most High. I'm going the opposite direction. Right? Right? Continue.
But the Lord sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man unto his God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea, to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. So the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, What meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy God. If so be that God will think upon us, that we perish not. And they said every one to his fellow, Come, and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah.
So what they did is like somebody has to get off the ship. There's somebody who is going against their power. So what they did, they went and do what like traditionally in those times they did cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. All right, continue.
Verse 8. Then said they unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation, and whence comest thou? What is thy country, and of what people art thou? And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew. I fear the Lord, the power of heaven, which hath made the sea and the dry land. Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, Why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of the Lord, because he had told them. Then said they unto him, What shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempestuous. And he said unto them, Take me up, and cast me forth into the sea. So shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to bring it to the land, but they could not.
So Jonah told him that, listen, just throw me off the ship, and everything will be all right. But the people, the mariners on the ship, they was like, we can't do that. You're gonna die out there. So they was trying to row, trying to get out the weather, but they couldn't do it. Right? Continue.
For the sea wrought and was tempestuous against them. Wherefore they cried unto the Lord and said, We beseech you, O Lord, we beseech thee, O Lord, we beseech thee. For let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood. For thou, O Lord, hast done as it pleased thee. So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from her raging.
So as soon as they threw Jonah in the sea, everything went calm. Right? So all these things were for Jonah. All right, continue. So people would think automatically this is the work of the... If we didn't know anything, we would say this is the work of the devil. Right? Like, oh, the sea, everything, they would say, like, what's going on here? Right? If you were not Jonah, if you were in that situation, not knowing. Right? Continue.
Then the men feared the Lord exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto the Lord, and made vows.
So they knew that this is the highest power. They were praying to all their gods, and as soon as they threw Jonah in that sea, they realized this has to be the highest power, and they gave a sacrifice onto him. Right?
Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights.
So the fish that they talk about is uncertain what kind of fish it is. It most probably could be Leviathan. It could be any type of fish, but that particular fish was prepared for Jonah. All right? And he had to be in there for 3 days and 3 nights. And this is where the prophecy comes from, where Christ had to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. All right? So let's go to chapter 2.
Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his power out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. For thou hast cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple. The waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped about my head. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever. Yet hast thou brought upon my life from corruption, O Lord, my power.
So you got to think about like how crazy it was to be not only in a fish's belly, but then surrounded by water, and then being deep into the sea, and thinking like, this is it. All I had to do was go in that path that the Most High told me to do. Just follow that direction. Right? Now, now that, you know, he went and kicked against the pricks, now he realized, okay, you know, I need to do this thing. Right? Continue.
Verse 7. When my soul fainted within me, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came unto thee into thine holy temple. They that observe lying vanities forsake thine own mercy. But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving.
So you see, there's the different ways of giving sacrifice. Jonah right here gave a sacrifice of his vows, his voice. All right, just giving a sacrifice of just praising the Most High, not thinking about anything else, but that just the Most High alone. That's a sacrifice alone in itself. All right, read verse 9 again.
But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. And the Lord spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land.
So the Most High heard Jonah, and then he allowed that fish to vomit up Jonah onto the dry land. Let's go to chapter 3.
And the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the second time, saying...
So you say, all right, Jonah, I'm going to give you a second try now. I want you to listen now. I don't want you to go back in there. All right? Continue.
Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went unto Nineveh according to the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly great city of 3 days' journey. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown.
So the Most High had told Jonah that, I want you to go to Nineveh and let them know that 40 days this place will be destroyed. Everybody, every cattle, everybody will be destroyed in the city. Right? Continue.
So the people of Nineveh believed the Most High.
So they believed the words of the Most High that what Jonah was speaking. Right? Continue.
And proclaimed a fast, and put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them.
So everybody repented in that time. Right? Continue.
For word came unto the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne, and he laid his robe from him, and covered him with sackcloth, and sat in ashes.
So even the king got the word of it, right, and put on sackcloth and threw ashes on himself. And this is showing as well too that because a lot of people would say that the reason why Jonah went to Nineveh is because there were only Israelites there, right? Because you could find that in Tobit, that Tobit went to Nineveh and there were Israelites there. It's possible that they had Israelites in Nineveh, but even the king. So even the king himself, even we know that the king was a Gentile. So that means that the king, the Gentiles, and if the Israelites were there, the Israelites as well repented. So everybody had a chance to repent. All right, continue.
Verse 7. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by a decree of the king and his nobles, saying, Let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock, taste anything. Let them not feed nor drink water. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth and cry unto the Most High. Yea, let them turn every one from his evil way and from the violence that is in their hands. Who can tell if the Most High will turn and repent and turn away from his fierce anger, that we perish not? So
the king made a decree and said, let the animals not eat, let nobody eat, let everybody put on sackcloth, throw ashes on the cattle and everybody. So if possible that the Most High could repent from him doing these things to us. Right? Continue.
And the Most High saw their works, that they turned from their evil way, and the Most High repented of the evil that he that had said that would do unto them, he did not. Did it not.
So the Most High actually did say, you know what? Since they're doing these things, they heard my word, I'm not going to do this. Yeah, all praise to the Most High, right? Let's continue.
Chapter 4, verse 1. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry.
So, I'll tell you, this is definitely us, man. So Jonah went through him trying to leave the side of the Most High, not following the Most High's orders. He went and repented. The Most High gave him a chance. Now he's mad that they repented and nothing's going to happen to them. Right? Read that again.
But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry.
Right?
And he prayed unto the Lord and said, I pray thee, O Lord, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country? Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish, for I knew that thou art a gracious power, and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repentest thee of the evil.
He's saying this, and why is he mad? All right? Continue.
Therefore now, O Lord, take, I beseech thee, my life from me, For it is better for me to die than to live.
So he's saying that I came here to deliver a message to them that they're going to die. I delivered the message. Now you're saying that you're not going to do it anymore? It's better if I die. I went to a whale's belly 3 days, 3 nights. I've been in hell. And I come over here. These people are not going to die. You gave me a message and they're not going to die. I wish I was dead. Right? Continue.
Then said the Lord, doest thou well to be angry?
So the Most High was like, what are you angry about? Do you actually need to be angry right now? Do you have a right to be angry? Right? Continue.
So Jonah went out of the city and sat on the east side of the city, and there made him a booth and sat under it in the shadow, that he might see what would become of the city. And the Lord and the Most High Power prepared a guard and made it to come up over Jonah.
So the Most High prepared a guard on the top of a hill for Jonah for him to be in the shade, right? Continue.
That it might be a shadow over his head, to deliver him from his grief.
Because it was hot, so the Most High said, you know what? I'm going to give him shade, right? Showing mercy to Jonah, right? Continue.
So Jonah was exceedingly glad of the gourd.
So Jonah was like, oh, well, praise to the Most High. I was in the desert. I ain't had to do no work, and here am I. Right? Continue.
But the Most High prepared a worm when the morning rose the next day.
So the Most High prepared a worm the next day to eat off that weed that was there. Right? Continue.
And it smote the gourd that it withered.
And then that gourd got it withered and it got destroyed. Right? Continue.
And it came to pass when the sun did arise that the Most High prepared a vehement east wind, and the sun beat upon the head of Jonah. So
he removed the shade from Jonah and he brought an east wind, the sun, and it was burning hot. Right? Continue.
That he fainted and wished in himself to die. And he said, it is better for me to die than to live.
So the Most High prepared all this for Jonah, gave it to him, took it back, and now he's saying it's better for me to die than to live. Right? Continue. Hear what the Most High had to say.
Verse 9. And the Most High said to Jonah, doest thou well be angry for the gourd?
So are you in the right mind to be angry for this gourd? Right? Continue.
And he said, I will do well to be angry even unto death.
And Jonah said, I'll be angry even unto death. Right? Continue.
Then said the Lord, thou hast had pity on the ground, for the which thou hast not labored, neither madest it grow. So
the Most High said, listen, you have pity for that gourd. You didn't labor for it. You didn't water it. You didn't make it grow. Right? You have pity for this gourd. Right? Continue.
Which came up in a night and perished in a night.
And it came up. It was not even here for you for your lifetime. It came up in the night and left you in the night. Right? Continue.
And should not I spare Nineveh, that great city wherein are more than 60,000 persons, that cannot discern between their right hand and their left hand, and also much cattle? So
you telling me that you should have pity on this gourd, but not have pity on the people of Nineveh? They don't know what the direction to go into. You know what direction to go to, and you ain't do it. They didn't have the direction. I gave it to them, and they followed it. And you want to have more pity on that gourd than those people, right? Or we always going or kicking against the pricks, always. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Another example.
Everybody there say con. First Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. So
Saul was the first king of Israel. The Most High sent Samuel to go and anoint Saul to be king over the people, right? And he told him to hearken unto the words of the Lord, right? Continue.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way, when he came up from Egypt.
So the Most High told Samuel to tell Saul that I remember the works of Amalek. How that when we came out from Egypt, they did not show brotherhood or show any type of friendship towards Israel. Right? Continue.
Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not.
And do what?
And spare them not.
So he told Samuel to tell Saul, go unto Amalek and destroy everything. Utterly destroy everything. Do not spare nothing. Women, children, cattle, everything. Continue.
But slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey.
So the Most High said, doesn't matter. Children, cattle, doesn't matter. There's a weed in the way, get it out of the way. Right? Jump down to verse 8.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
So, hearing that, Saul says, okay, I'm just going to keep the king alive. He said to destroy everything, I want to make a fool of this guy. Let me keep this guy alive, right? So he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, right? Continue.
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
When the Most High says destroy everything, he means destroy everything. He even made it specific and said, listen, everything. Children, men, cattle, doesn't matter. Just kill everything. Anything that belongs to them, just destroy it, right? Continue.
But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep.
And again, he told him to destroy the cattle. Yo, we're going to keep the sheep. We need something to eat, right? Continue.
And of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, they destroyed utterly.
So everything that they didn't like, they just destroyed it. But if it could benefit me, I'll take it. Right? Let's go to verse 23.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
So Samuel told, listen, for the rebellion is as sin of witchcraft. Rebelling against the Most High is like you doing witchcraft. Because what witchcraft is there to do is to block one force from the next. So the Most High telling you to do something, you going against it, it's just like witchcraft. Right? Read that again.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as the iniquity and idolatry.
And stubbornness is like iniquity and idolatry. Right? Continue.
Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord.
So you doing witchcraft and doing idolatry by just rejecting the word of the Most High. Continue.
He hath also rejected thee from being king.
So you know what? Since you're going to, if you're kicking against the pricks, he's going to reject you as well from being king. Let's go to chapter 16, verse 13.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And,
continue.
And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward.
So the Most High told Samuel to go and look for the other king. And you're going to find him out of the sons of Jesse. So Samuel seeked all the brothers of Jesse. And he didn't accept none of the older brothers. But when David came, and the Most High said that's him. And so Samuel anointed David to be king that day forward. Right? Continue.
So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. So the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul that day forward. Right? Continue. And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
And the evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. So, again, if this was to happen to us, right? Not the Most High physically speaking to us, and we out there, and these things happen to us, we automatically say, this is of the devil. Not knowing that the Most High, in that time, the Most High is trying to point you into another direction. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 38, verse 6.
Everybody there say Khan? Genesis chapter 38 verse 6. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him.
So Judah took a wife for his son his firstborn, Tamar. All right. And Judah gave his firstborn to Tamar, and the Most High seen that that was a wicked servant of him, and he slew him. Right? Continue.
And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother.
So Judah told his other son Onan to go and take your brother's wife, and give him a seed. Right? His brother a seed, because that was the custom. If your brother dies, you take his wife, and then if he doesn't have children, he has to have a seed for himself. Right? Continue.
And Onan knew that the seed should not be his.
So Onan said, "Listen, if I get this, if I lay with this woman and give her a child, this child's not going to be mine. I'm not doing that." Right? Continue.
And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother.
So he did not give seed unto his brother. Right? Continue.
And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also.
So the Most High slew him also. Whether it be him not giving his brother the seed or him spilling the seed, he just went against the Most High, not giving his brother a seed for himself. Right? Going against the pricks. Exodus chapter 4 verse 10.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 4 verse 10. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue.
So this is the first time the Most High actually speaking to somebody face to face. Moses is the only person that the Most High spoke face to face to. When I mean face to face, but the voice. This is the first time his voice actually came to another person face to face, right? And the Most High told him, listen, I want you to go and free the Israelites out of Egypt. You need to do that. And Moses went and said, listen, I can't do this. I'm not eloquent enough, and I'm not a good speaker. Right? I'm slow of speech and a slow of tongue. Right? Verse 11.
And the Lord said unto him.
So now the Most High is angry now. Right? I told you to go do something. You're telling me that you can't do it. Read verse 11 again.
And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord?
So the Most High said, Who made man's mouth? That you telling me that you can't do it? How are you telling me that you can't do this? Right? Who maketh the dumb, or the deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? I do these things. I control things. How are you telling me that you can't do this? Why are you going against me? Right? Continue.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say.
So the Most High said, therefore go. This is what I want you to do. And I will teach you what to say. Right? Continue.
And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. So Moses said, okay, whoever you send, I know they will do a good job, but it's not me. Right? Continue. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. So the Most High got even more cross. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Right? Continue. And he said, is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? Mm-hmm. I know that he can speak well. He said, listen, I already have everything prepared already. I just need you to go do what I tell you to do. That's it. Whatever path I give you, that's the path I want you to go. I don't care how hard you think it is, that's the path. I know better. I'm the Father, I know.
Right? Continue.
And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee, and when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall say, what ye shall do.
Right, let's go to Judges chapter 2, verse 1.
Everybody there, say con. Judges chapter 2, verse 1. And an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim, and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you, and ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have ye done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their gods shall be a snare unto you. And it shall come to pass, when the angel of the Lord spake these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept.
So the Most High told the Israelites to do a thing when they come into the land. Maybe it's my mic. Let me see that. 1, 2. All right. The water, brother. So the Most High told Israel, listen, I would never remove my covenant from you, right? But when I told you to break down their altars, why are you going to serve their gods, though? Why are y'all doing these things? So therefore, I'm going to leave them around your area. They will be a thorn to your side. If y'all don't know how to listen, y'all going to have to feel it, right? Continue.
Verse 5. And they called the name of that place Bochim, and they sacrificed there unto the Lord. And when Joshua had let the people go, the children of Israel went every man unto his inheritance to possess the land. And the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord that he did for Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-Heres, in the mount of Ephraim, of the north side of the hill Gaash. And also all the generation were gathered unto their fathers. And there arose another generation after them, which knew not the Lord, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel.
And jump down to verse 19.
And it came to pass, when the judge was dead.
Sorry, go to verse 16, sorry.
Nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges.
So the Most High removed them from the delivered them out of the hands of them that spoiled them. But they did not listen unto the judges, right? They didn't hearken on what the Most High gave to the judges to do, right? Continue.
But they went a-whoring after other gods.
They went a-whoring after other gods. Right? Continue.
And bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord. But
so they seen these guys, and automatically they didn't even waste no time. They said, wow, these guys are in front of us. They quickly removed themselves from the ways of their father and went and turned to these other gods. Right? Continue.
But they did not so. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge, and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Lord because of their groanings, by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them.
So all the time the Israelites were going one way, the Most High took them out and told them, all right, go this way. And then a couple of days they'll go back over here, constantly. We're just cattle. We really are cattle, man. That's the reason why there are shepherds here. There are shepherds in the world. And the only shepherd that we're supposed to be following is Yeshua, right? Continue.
Verse 19. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, there that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers, in following other gods to serve them, and to bow down unto them. They ceased not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people hath transgressed my covenant which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice.
So all the things, every time I get y'all out of a problem, I always tell y'all, go this path, go this path. Okay, Lord, I got it, no problem. I'll sacrifice to you and build up an altar for you. And then as soon as the Most High turn his back, y'all go into another God. Why y'all so stubborn? Right? Continue.
Verse 21. I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel, whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein, as their fathers did keep, or not.
So the Most High had to use the other nations to show who was going to stand with the Most High or not. He had to give us a pinch on the side to see where we're going to actually go. Right? Continue.
Therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua.
So again, we could look in our neighborhoods. We got other nations over our neighborhoods. Corner stores, Chinese stores, everything. The reason why he's doing that is for a reason. You will say, people with a carnal eye would say, where is God? Does a God actually exist? But not understanding what the Most High is actually trying to do for us. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 22. Now to give you an example of a person that actually goes the right direction. Right? Genesis chapter 22, verse 1.
Everybody there say calm. Genesis chapter 22, verse 1. And it came to pass after these things, that the Most High did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
So the Most High told Abraham, listen, get up, go sacrifice his son. And Abraham rose up in the morning to go do so. No question, nothing. The Most High told him to do it, I'll go do it. Who gave you my son? Right? Continue.
Verse 3. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place which the Most High had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, the Most High will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which the Most High had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
So the whole time the Most High was not going to allow him to go and kill his son. But he wanted to see where his faith was. This is the reason why Abraham is called the friend of the Lord. And this is where we had to be. And this is the reason why Yeshua says that we have to put not father, mother, child, husband, wife before him. This is the reason why. It was because of Abraham knowing how just the Most High is. If he's telling him to do something, it's because of a just reason. We'll automatically get caught up in that feeling and lose that sight and not hear what the Most High has to say. And this is what happens to us all the time in the world. When the Most High is trying to lead us in a direction, in our heart we feel that this is what we need to do. Where the Most High is saying, no, this way. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 73, verse 1. This is something that we always struggle with. We always struggle with. Psalm chapter 73, verse 1.
Anybody there say con? Psalm 73 and 1.
Hold on, I think I hear people still wrestling with paper. All right, go ahead, brother.
Psalm 73 and 1. Truly the Most High is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart.
So David said, truly the Most High is good to Israel, even to such who have a clean heart. Right? Continue.
But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped.
But as for me, it don't seem like the Most High loves me. Right? My feet were almost gone and my steps were nigh slipped. I'm always tripping over something. Why is that? Why is Israel? He says that he loves Israel, and even does it of a clean heart. But me, I'm always slipping. My feet are always gone. Right? Continue.
For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
And he said, I was envious. I was jealous of the foolish people, those who don't believe in God. Right? I'm jealous of them. And when I saw the prosperity and when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, when I saw that the wicked are actually the ones that are benefiting off this earth, I have a jealousy of that. Right? Continue.
For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm.
And it says there are no bands in their death, no strength in their firm. There's nothing holding them back from anything. Right? They seem that they are the strongest on the earth. Those who are doing wicked. Those who don't believe in God. Those foolish people who don't believe in God. Right? Continue.
They are not in trouble as other men.
They are not troubled as other men. They're not going through the things that that I'm going through. I'm trying to do the right thing. They're not doing the right thing. But they seem like they're not even getting in trouble. Every time I see them, they got a smile on their face. They come to work with a smile on their face, then they be doing wicked. Right? Continue.
Neither are they plagued like other men.
They not even plagued like other men. These guys never get sick. They just live a long life. Right? Continue.
Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain.
So them they're prideful. Like, oh, you going to church every Saturday? I don't believe in God. Look at me. Right? Continue.
Violence covereth them as a garment.
And those who are doing violence, like, listen, you know what bodies I got on me? That ain't happened to me yet. Right? Continue.
Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish.
And they have more than heart could wish. Right? Continue.
They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression.
You see that? The reason why you like that, brother, you too good, man. Go out there, rob, steal. Do what you got to do, man, to get that money. They speak wickedly of oppression. They're like, yo, you ain't doing the right thing, man. Look at me. Right? Continue.
They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens.
Who? God? Nobody, man. Right? Continue.
And their tongue walketh through the earth.
Right?
Therefore his people return hither, and the waters of a full cup are wrung out to them.
So people automatically want to grab into these people. Right? Run straight into them. Right? Continue.
Verse 11. And they say, how doeth the Most High know?
He's like, listen, when I'm doing my thing, how the Most High going to know what I'm doing? Right? Continue.
And is there knowledge in the Most High?
Like, yo, brother, why you still going to church? Look around you, man. Look around you. You actually believe that there's a God? There's no God here, man. Do what you got to do. Right? Continue.
Behold, these are the ungodly, who prosper in the world. They increase in riches.
It said, behold, these are the ungodly people that speak like this. Who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. Right? Continue.
Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain.
So automatically you would say, I went through baptism. I'm keeping the Most High's commandments. I'm trying to love all my brothers and sisters. I did all this in vain. I'm cleaning my heart for vain. What's going on here? Why am I struggling? Why am I suffering, and these guys are not suffering? Right? Continue.
And wash my hands in innocency.
So, and I washed my hands of innocency. It was all vain for me, right? Continue.
For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning.
Every morning I wake up, I'm like, God, today's a new day, man. Everything's gonna be all right. As soon as I step out the house, something's gonna happen to me. As soon as I get into my work, somebody's trying to, you know, make me go left, trying to get me angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I just woke up. What's going on here, man? Could I get a coffee first, bro? Like, right? All the day long I've been plagued. Back killing me, toothache, right? Lost money. You know what I mean? There's so much things. We all be been getting plagued. Chastised in the morning. Right? Continue.
Verse 15. And if I say I will speak thus, behold, I shall offend against the generation of thy children.
And if I go and tell the children out there, like, listen, man, I don't know what's going on with us, man. We getting plagued, and these guys are prospering. I can't do that, though. I had to stay steady with the Most High, right? Continue.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me to even think about. Right? Continue.
Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High.
Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. And what?
Then understood I their end.
So when I came into the sanctuary of the Most High, I understood their end. Those people that are prospering, those people that are out there, or, you know, living their life, right? YOLO, right? Continue.
Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castedest them down into destruction.
So we looking at these people and saying, man, these guys are living the good life. They up there. Yeah, the Most High want them to be up there. So as soon as they get up there, kicking them right off the cliff. Land straight on their face. Getting them enough rope so they can hang themselves. This is the reason why the Most High is doing these things. He's not going to easily make them, they want to live wickedly, fine. You go do it. You see what happens to you. This is the reason why the Most High is doing these things. It's that what in Hebrews it says that if you're not being chastised, you're a bastard child. You are a bastard child. So you want the Most High to constantly be plaguing you and doing these things because he wants you to go in the right direction. Because he's saying that you go in this direction. No, this way. And we'll constantly always say, you know what? It's the devil. But we have to sit down and think What am I doing? Should I be going this direction? Does the Most High want me to do this? Right? Continue.
Verse 19. How are they brought into desolation, as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image.
So it says as soon as when you wake up out of sleep, exactly how their destruction is going to be. It was like all of a dream. As soon as the Most High comes out and destroy them, they have nothing. They're like, what just happened? It was like a dream. Right? Continue.
Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins.
So knowing this and have this understanding now, I feel bad now. Knowing that the Most High was only doing this to protect me, to guide me in the right direction. Right? Continue.
So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee.
You see that? He said, I was a beast before thee. Or going again, kicking against the pricks. Being ignorant of certain things. The Most High is pricking you to go this way. Right? Continue.
Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none above the earth that I desire.
I'm sorry, read verse 24 again.
Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory.
So the Most High is giving us counsel. This is what he's actually doing. He's counseling us to go and follow that path that he needs us to do. Right? Continue.
Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon the earth that I desire beside thee.
So who do I have in heaven but thee? Remember when Elder and Deacon Aaron did that lesson of the Prince of the Gentiles. The lots fell on, the Most High lot fell on us. We have the highest powers. There's no one greater than him. So we had to allow ourselves to be led by the Most High and stop going against that pinch. Right? Continue.
Verse 26. My flesh and my heart faileth, but the Most High is the strength of my heart and my portion forever.
So your flesh and your heart will fail, but the Most High is your strength. The Most High is your strength. Continue.
For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish.
They that are far from thee, their works, all these things will perish. We have to stop worrying about those who are on the outside doing what they got to do and they living their life. We have to worry about the Most High circle. We're going to try to grab these people in, but they don't want to listen. Hey, that's what the scripture says. You got to leave them alone. Let those who are on the outside, the Most High going to correct them.
Mm-hmm.
Not to worry about these people on the outside. We cannot envy them. Khan?
God.
Continue.
Thou hast destroyed all them that go a-whoring from thee. But it is good for me to draw near to the Most High. I have put my trust in the Lord power, that I may declare all thy works.
So we have to put all our trust in the Most High. We had to allow him to lead us. We cannot be that stubborn ox. We had to allow him to lead us. The works that we're doing is not of our own. It's for the Most High. He's using us as a vessel. That's it. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 17, verse 11. Trust me, when I do these lessons, these things always happen to me. That's why I come up with these lessons. I had to realize that I had to allow the Most High to lead me. Plenty of times I said, you know what, I had to do this. Nah, you don't have to do that. I want you to do this. And then you have to sit down and realize, okay, it is the Most High that wants me to do this. You have to sit down and really meditate on what the Most High wants you to do. Of course, it could be opposite powers, you know, trying to stop you from certain things, but that's why you have to sit down and meditate and realize, okay, the Most High wants me to do this. It's not about how I feel, emotions. The Most High wants you to do this. Thus saith the Lord, do this. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 11.
An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him.
An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Let's think about that right here, right? It says a cruel man seeketh only rebellion. So an evil man will all he wants to do, whatever is good, he's going to rebel from it. And it says, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. So the messenger is not really that he is a cruel messenger. It's because he's rebellious of that messenger, therefore it's cruel. The messenger came and said, hey, here you go. Get that away from me, man. I don't want that. What does this thing say? Nah, take this back. I'm doing this. So therefore that messenger is cruel towards him. Right? Read that again.
Proverbs 17 and 11. An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him.
So whatever messages that person gets, and it making him go that opposite direction, it will therefore be cruel to him. So again, if the Most High is giving you a message, you have to take it. No matter how you feel, that say, you know what, I can't do this. That's too much for me. Right? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on thine own understanding.
Read that again.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Your heart is where your thoughts are. So therefore the Most High has to replace whatever thought you have in there. The Most High has to be your thoughts. So that's what it's saying. Forget about what you think. Forget about your thoughts. What do the Most High want you to do? Do not lean on your own understanding. Right? Continue.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct you in thy path. This is what I'm saying, that when you see that things are happening, do not instantly think, oh, adversary is against me. Sit down, meditate, be patient on it, and see what the Most High wants me to do. You have to acknowledge him. It's not you. It's the Most High. You are a servant of the Most High. So once he puts you on, once he gives you a message, once something happens to you, you have to sit down, think about it, acknowledge him, and see, okay, is this what you want me to do? Continue.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil.
Be not wise in your own eyes. Eyes are deceiving. Your eyes can't deceive you. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. Right? 28 and 26, Proverbs. Proverbs 28 and 26.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool.
He that trusteth in his own heart, you are a fool. Right? Continue.
But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
But whoso walketh wisely, meaning allowing the Most High to be in your heart and to give you all your thoughts, he shall be delivered. Proverbs 13 and 15.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 15. Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard.
Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of the transgressor is hard. Now we will automatically say transgressor. That's a sinner. If you look in the Strong's the definition of the word transgressor, right? That word transgressor could also mean one who lacks faith. Unfaithful. Because check it. If you have faith, that means you believe in the Most High, therefore you will keep his commandments. That won't make you not a sinner. But if you lack faith, you're not going to do the commandments because you have no faith. You don't believe in the Most High. So therefore you're a transgressor, one who lacks faith. So it says, good understanding giveth favor, but the way of a transgressor or a person that lacks faith is hard. So, again, when we lack faith in the Most High and we say that we're going to go do our own thing, thinking that the Most High's direction, I'm not comfortable in that direction. I'm not comfortable in that path. That's not what I do. I need to go in this path. It will get harder for you. You'll feel some type of resistance. I'm trying to go here. What's going on? The adversary, man. Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 10.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way.
See that? Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way. Correction is grievous for those who forsaketh the way. I'm trying to go one way. Why are they pushing me on this side? Continue.
And he that hateth reproof shall die.
And he that hateth reproof shall die. Psalms chapter 119, verse 133.
Everybody there say calm?
So somebody said, All right, good now? All right.
Psalms 119 and 133. Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me.
So we had to allow the Most High to order steps in his word. Order my steps. You show me what to do. I know nothing. You show me. This is how we have to be. We have to be like children. Right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13.
Everybody there say con. First Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
So it says that there is no temptation taking you, but such as common as men. So there's no new temptation in the world. It was dealing from back in the days. People dealing with it now. There's nothing new. Right? Continue.
But the Most High is faithful.
But the Most High is faithful. Continue.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. He will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. Understand this. We're going to read it as well too. The Most High does not put you in temptation. Right? We're going to get into that. But when you go through it, He will allow you to sit in there to see that how much you could resist and pull you out. Here's the reason why. We had to be tried like gold, precious stones. If we understand what precious stones and gold is about and how it is made under stressful situations, high pressure, high heat. These are how precious stones and gold is made. So the Most High said that we had to be like those things. He has to allow some type of pressure off that worthless rock, which we call the flesh. We had to be changed. So read that again. Verse 13.
There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
So you see that? So He will make an escape route for you when you go into it. But He will not put you. He will not leave you in a situation that you cannot handle. We can't not be fearful of these things when they come. This is what the Most High is saying. He does not put us in these situations, but when we go into these situations, we have to stand firm and figure out, okay, where's that path that the Most High gave me? Where's that escape route? It's there. We just have to make sure that we take it. But He's gonna allow some type of pressure for us to be changed. Romans chapter 5 verse 1.
Romans chapter 5 verse 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with the Most High through our Lord Yeshua HaMashiach.
So we are justified by the faith, having peace with the Most High through Yeshua, right? Continue.
By whom also we have access by faith into this grace, wherein we stand.
So the reason why we stand right here is because of grace. Okay, continue.
And rejoice in hope of the glory of the Most High.
And rejoice in hope of the glory of the Most High. Continue.
And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also.
So not only that we glory, that we hope that the Most High, we see the Most High in the kingdom, but we should also glory in tribulation also. Right? Continue.
Knowing that tribulation worketh patience.
Knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So when going through tribulation, we had to meditate on it be patient on it, be long-suffering when we go through these things. Because once we start fearing and having anxiety, we lose that focus. We lose where I don't know where the path is. Where is it? Where is it? Mm-hmm. We have to focus. This is how Yeshua stood, had a stance when he was in the mount with the devil. Had patience with it, long suffering with it, right? Instead of saying, "Oh man, it's over." No, it's not over. There's a path there. So tribulation worketh patience. It helps you with your patience. Like I gave that example when I was in Tabernacles regarding that brother that I had a conflict with in my job. If me not being patient with that brother, right now it would still be going crazy at my job. The brother's there now, you know, offer me, yeah, brother, you want coffee or what you need help with? You know, if I went the other direction, if I lost patience with that brother, it wouldn't went wrong. So through tribulation comes work of patience, right? Continue.
And patience, experience.
And patience, experience. So when you have impatience, now you have the experience now. Because you long suffer, you could say, yeah, I've been through that. I could tell a brother, sister, yeah, you know what? Be patient with me, man. Trust me, I've been through that. I have experience in that. But if we lack patience in it, we cannot help nobody else. Because we have no experience in it. We have to go through it to have experience, right? Mm-hmm. Con?
Con.
All right, continue.
And experience hope.
And experience hope. So when we had the experience, we went through all these things. The reason why we went through all these things because we have that hope. We're not gonna do it because it's out of vanity. We're doing it because we hope for these things not to be anymore. Hope for that we see the kingdom. Hope for that we see the presence of Yeshua. Right? Continue.
And hope maketh not ashamed.
And hope maketh not ashamed. So when you go through these things, people will be like, yo, what are you doing all these things for, bro? When you're going through these things, bro, you still going to church, brother? Look at you, bro. You're a mess. You should not be ashamed of that. Like, listen, bro. Like, you know, I got something. I'm on a higher level right now, man. I'm thinking higher. You thinking right here. I'm up here right now. Right? Continue.
Because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit which is given unto us.
Let's go to James chapter 1, verse 2.
Everybody there say con?
Verse 12. James 1 and 12.
Book of James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. Continue.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
So when he goes through these things, he shall receive the crown of life. But you see that it says when you go through these things. So that means that when we hear, brothers and sisters, don't think that because you're going through things that, oh, you know, the Spirit's not on me. We all have to go through these things. But it says, blessed are those who endureth it. Blessed are those who endureth it. We had to go through some type of pressure to be changed. Right? Blessed are those who endure it, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. Continue.
which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
Which the Most High have promised them that love him. Continue.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High.
So you see that? It says, let no man say that he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. This is what I'm saying. That the Most High say he won't allow you to be in any type of tribulation above what you know. He won't tempt you because continue reading, matter of fact.
For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
So he says, for either the Most High cannot be tempted, nor would he tempt any man. Continue.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed.
So every man is tempted, every man goes through a tribulation by his own lust. Right. By his own lust and his own entice. You remember, like, like on Nightmare on Elm Street? Freddy Krueger will use your fears, right? The same thing. Satan will use what you weaken. So when you go through these things, when Satan puts you through these things, the Most High will just let you be right there, and you'll be like, what's going on? Is the Most High with me? Yeah, he's with you. He's always going to be with you. He has that path, that door there for you. But you had to try to resist it. You had to be in that pressure cooker for a time to be changed. We had to be changed. And the only way to be changed is through that experience. Right? I'm sorry. I was right before. Let's go to James chapter 1, verse 2. I didn't touch on that. James chapter 1, verse 2. I should have touched on that first.
My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations.
So it says, my brethren, count all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. When you go through these things, count it as joy. It sounds crazy. Count it as joy. The reason why you counted it as joy, because you know that you are going in this right path. The reason why you're going through this is because you have to be changed. The flesh is trying to go one way. The Most High saying, listen, go through this, you'll work it out. Right? Continue.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
So the trying of your faith worketh patience. The trying of your faith worketh patience. Continue.
But let patience have her perfect work.
So just allow it. What I mean by allow it, when you go through these things, find that path. Let the patience work with you. It is there. Have patience. Meditate on it. Don't react too quick. Look, there's a door. Right? Continue.
That ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
And wanting nothing. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10.
Everybody there say con? Revelation chapter 3 verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and try them that dwell upon the earth.
So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you through the hour of temptation. The temptation is going to be around all of us. But he said he will keep you. He will give you that path. He will give you that door. Continue.
Verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
So he says, I come quickly. So it says that he that endureth temptation, you shall receive that crown. So it says that hold fast what thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Right? Continue.
Him that overcometh will I make a pillar into the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power. And I will write upon him my new name.
So Christ said he will write upon him his new name when he comes. Right? Romans chapter 11, verse 7.
Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. And David saith, let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall?
So Paul asks, I say then, have they stumbled so that they shall fall? Them going against that prick against him, or did he allow them to stumble for them to fall? Continue.
God forbid.
Most High forbid, right?
But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. So
salvation came unto the Gentiles to provoke the Israelites to jealousy. You want to go one way? Okay, no problem. If you can't hear, you won't feel. These guys, these Gentiles right here, they will receive it. And then for them to be like, oh, hold up, what's going on here? Where's my love? Now they want to come back. So it's through our stubbornness that the salvation came onto the Gentiles. Right? Continue.
Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness?
Khan.
For I speak to you Gentiles.
You can stop right there. Last scripture. Let's go to Psalms. Everybody know this Psalms right here. Psalms chapter 23. We have to now get a full understanding what David is talking about here. We all have this in our house, the book open, next to some candles, right? Right before somebody comes in the door, right? Psalms chapter 23, verse 1.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So when it says the Lord is my shepherd, the Lord is the person who is going to guide me to that path. Christ is my shepherd. Therefore, I am just cattle. I am just a servant. I'm just going to follow what you say to do. I shall not want. I'm not thinking about what I think I need to do. Whatever you need me to do, that's what I'm going to do. I shall not want. Right? Continue.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He's the one that feeds me. He gives me everything to drink, and he feeds me. Right? Wanting nothing. Right? Continue.
He restoreth my soul.
He restoreth my soul. Continue.
He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
No, for my name's sake.
For his name's sake.
For his name's sake. Right? He restoreth my soul. He leadeth the path of righteousness for his name's sake. So again, it's not what we want to do. It's for his name's sake. Whatever I tell you to do, that's what you have to do. Whatever path I need you to take, that's what you need to take. The path of righteousness for his name's sake. Continue.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
So, yea, though I walk through tribulation. Yea, though I walk through these periled times, these tribulation and temptation. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Right? Continue.
I will fear no evil.
I will fear no evil. I will fear no evil. I should allow some type of trying to happen for the pressure. I'm not telling nobody to go, you dealing with lust, run up in a strip club, crime, that's your Allah, Nah. These things are gonna, you walking in this path, there's gonna be tribulation. The thing is, on this path, there is light. Therefore, you can see the stumbling blocks. You are aware of the stumbling blocks. You're aware of these tribulations. You can say, okay, this is coming my way. Nah, this is not happening. Okay, you go through it, Most High gonna have that path for you. All right, continue.
For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence...
Read that again. Verse 4.
Verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Thy rod and thy staff shall comfort me. The rod is used for protection. The staff is used to brace yourself, to hold you up. So he's saying the rod that that Christ has, he's there to protect us. That staff is there to embrace us. He's that rod and he's that staff. Right? Continue.
Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I'm going through these things in front of my enemies. You prepare this table in front of me, and I'm there surrounded by my enemies, right? Continue.
Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over.
Thou anointed my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. I need nothing. Whatever that you have given me, that's sufficient enough for me. Right? Thou prepares a table in the presence of my enemies. That my enemies will see that as long as I keep this path, I'll show them that you are the righteous God. Continue.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. The Most High would not allow you to go through temptation above what you feel you know. Right? Continue.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So, brothers and sisters, the reason why of this lesson today is always try to endure through it. Let the Most High lead you. Do not lean on our own understanding. He gives us a path. Let's take it. Do not have no fear in it. All right? So all praise to the Most High.
These lies and delusions wake me